This is DJ.
And this is Ish.
And this is
Season 6 of
Pero Let Me Tell You. Back to the past, Samurai Jack.
Aw, Samurai Jack.
Got to get back to the past, Samurai Jack.
I need to revisit that.
You know that I'm not into none of that at all.
But
because Samurai Jack is Samurai Jack technically anime?
It's anime influenced because it's a US property. Mm-hmm. So it's not anime necessarily.
Because I'm not about that life.
That samurai anime life?
Well, the anime life.
That's true.
I'm not about that life. I mean, if you are, great, but I'm not about that anime life. But Samurai Jack, I really got into.
It was really cool. But then again, it was created by Jendi Tartakovsky, who also did Dexter's Laboratory.
I have no idea what that is.
You've never seen Dexter's Laboratory?
I have, but I don't know who Jendi Tartakovsky is.
Oh, no. I think that's something you get if you have too much turkey.
Okay, anyway. Well, everybody, welcome to episode...
I literally just told
279.
You. Yes.
279 of Pero Let Me Tell You.
He looked at me like, wait, like I didn't just say
the holidays are officially here.
They're upon us.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Y ya todo el mundo está, you're bloated because of post-Thanksgiving. La cosa está buena. So, yeah. So, how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Well, apparently they're all bloated according to you.
Well, yeah. I mean... Okay.
So a bunch of bloated listeners.
So you had my Thanksgiving dinner.
I did.
The day after or 2 days after. How was it?
So it was fantastic. So as I may have mentioned, this year I didn't have a Thanksgiving dinner. A proper Thanksgiving dinner because my parents and my sister are out of town. So Jose and we went with his friends to Rusty Pelican. It was lovely. The food was great. Obviously, it's Rusty Pelican. It's not going to be bad food. And again, to Jose's credit, I love him. He got me like a little Thanksgiving meal lunch. So it was like a little turkey loaf with some mashed potato and some green beans. So it was very, and a little piece of pumpkin pie.
Very thoughtful.
Very, very thoughtful. Because he knows that for me, Thanksgiving, like I have to have Thanksgiving food. But then after we finished, building the pergola on Saturday,
Yes, because even when we're not together doing things for Bing Bang Pollo and the podcast, we build pergolas together. As one does, but go ahead.
Again, we can only do things that start with a P.
Yes. Podcast, pero let me tell you, Bing Bang Pollo pergolas.
Yeah. So you prepared for me, it was really delicious. It was a little cranberry. Some turkey slices with gravy, your stuffing, which was very good.
I have to tell you, my stuffing is pretty amazing.
Yes, no, your stuffing was phenomenal. And all three of those were very, very good. They were very delicious. But I know that our listeners really just want me to talk about the other thing that was on my plate based on how many views your mother's video has gotten.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, yeah.
The sweet potato, the boniato casserole.
The boniato, the vianda, we're calling it la vianda casserole.
The boniato invento.
So as many of you know from a video that I posted last week of my mom making,
she was making sweet potato
traditional sweet potato casserole. She sent my dad to get the sweet potato. My dad cogió a random vianda, as one does, as an old Cuban man does.
Wait, so we still don't know if it wasn't sweet potato for sure, but we don't know if it was boniato or
I don't know what it was. Yo creo que era una calabaza because it was white. It was white.
But boniato's white.
It was una malanga. Yo creo que era una malanga.
You think it was malanga?
It was a sort of era una vianda.
It was pale.
Yes, it was una vianda.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but as many of you saw, almost 100,000 of you saw on our Instagram. Thank you for the views, by the way. My dad was off to a bad start because first of all, he went to Presidente Supermarket. So I don't even know they have sweet potato at Presidente Supermarket.
I don't even have marshmallows.
So then he brings it back. He's like, I don't know. And then my mom, of course, was like, I don't know. Like, and the thing about it, I've told you this. Remember, I told you all about this even like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. My mom does the same recipe every single year, and it's a basic sweet potato recipe.
You show me a video. She prints it out.
She prints it out. She has a recipe. Yeah. It comes out terrible. She's not good at it, but it's enough. She does it enough that I get the sweet potato-ness of it all, casserole. So I'm fine with it.
You can taste the intention.
And every year she does it. And every year I have to remind her to do it because it's like new information. Because it's like, mamá, amé lo de sweet potato. Ay, verdad, que a ti te gusta eso. This is every year.
So kind of like when it's like, ¿a ti te gusta que de Publix?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like brand new information. So this year, on Thanksgiving Day, I'm like, Mom, where is the sweet potato? Because at least she would have had the sweet potato there.
Right, the ingredients, yeah.
And she's like, ay, que me parta un rayo. Que me parta un rayo. Se me olvidó hacer es sweet potato. And she's like, y esto es lo único que tú me pides a mí. And I'm like, I know. And I was like totally victimizing myself. I'm like, I know. Es lo único que yo te pido. Yo hago toda la comida de Thanksgiving. Lo único que yo te pido es que por favor me... Whatever. And she sent my dad out. And the only thing open was Presidente. And,
so that's what happened.
That led to content.
Yes. I will say I'm gonna quote,
it tasted like rayo.
I'm gonna quote one of the most honest people in pop culture, Judy Geller. Mm-hmm. It was not good.
It was not good. So here's the deal.
Here's the thing. It was not good because it was trying to be something else. And
it was not good. It was not good because the main ingredient in sweet potato casserole
was not
sweet
there.
Potato.
It was not
so
there.
when you have a random malanga or vianda, topped with brown sugar, cream, and butter and pecans, it's not going to be sweet potato casserole.
Right.
So for those of you who are curious on how it came out like rayo. It was terrible.
I'm gonna augment that. Rayo encendido.
Yes. Yes. But it made for great stories.
There we go.
And here we are.
We're talking about it. Now it's two pieces of content.
Yeah, here we are. So,
but your food by comparison was fantastic.
It's funny because so this is our second Thanksgiving without my grandmother. My grandmother always did the turkey. Always. The last 2 years, I did the turkey. Not because she couldn't, but I was kind of like, I really want to make the turkey. Because I'm trying to, I don't want the turkey anymore to have mojo and ajo everywhere.
You didn't want the turkey to taste like lechon.
Yeah. So, and that's how it always was. So I do the cooking, the upside down method cooking, which is amazing. So I cooked a lot of things, and we did it at my brother's house. I get very, very stressful in the 15 minutes that I have to take out the turkey. When I take out the turkey from the oven, you have to let it rest for about 15 minutes. Those 15 minutes are probably among the most stressful 15 minutes of my life. Oh my God, you ask like you don't know. Because in those 15 minutes, I have to take the turkey out of the oven. I have to put all the sides back in the oven so they could heat up again.
Oh,
that's and in those 15 minutes, I have to make the gravy from scratch and carve the turkey. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Because I make the gravy, because the gravy, I have to make it from the pan drippings.
Right.
And I can't get the pan drippings until I take out the turkey. So I have to deglaze the pan. I have to then take it out, let it separate the oil from, the good stuff, the fond. Then I have to pour it back in, do the roux. Then it is so, I'm drenched in sweat.
But why don't you just let somebody help you even at least just put the stuff back in the oven? While you're doing everything else.
The hard part is that it's making I have 15 minutes to make the as I said, the gravy from scratch, and then carve the turkey. And then before I carve the turkey, I tell everybody, come and take your pictures. Oh,
because you don't carve it at the table. You carve it in the kitchen and then take it out. I'm asking. I've never done I've never done a Borges Thanksgiving.
Carving a Thanksgiving turkey at a table, that's shit you see on TV. Because carving a turkey, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Unless you're like, oh, here's a piece of breast. Oh, let's sit down. No, you got to carve the thing because you got to, you have to debone the leg and thigh, and you have to take out the joint. Then you have to do it twice. You have to take off the wing. Then you have to take off the breast. And I take off the breast each side whole. And then I slice the breast. Okay. That's why you got perfect slices.
Yes.
And then I have to slice in an angle where I don't take the skin off the breast. It's a whole thing.
It's an OCD Thanksgiving.
Well, no, because I want my turkey to be picture perfect.
Yeah, that's a really
And then
that's a nice way of saying OCD
then I have to,
holiday.
I always tell people, like, when you pour the gravy from the gravy boat, make sure it goes across the slices. Like, never mind.
Do not tell people how to eat their food.
I know the people that I live with. That I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna slop just with a spoon the gravy on top of the turkey, and I'm like, no, that's why you have a gravy boat for you to pour.
Okay, in their defense, Cubans don't have that gravy boat passed down thing that Americans do. So they don't know.
They've been here 40 years.
There's the blind spots, as you yourself say.
Oh, so anyway.
Gravy boat is a blind spot.
So how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Did you have a good time? Did you eat lechon? You're wearing our Lechon Live t-shirt.
I am wearing our Lechon Live t-shirt, which we have available for sale,
Yes.
either direct or through TeePublic. So just DM us.
Yes. We'll talk more about the direct in a later post.
And we'll post something.
Anyway, so yeah, the holidays are here.
The holidays
Did you already put
are-
up your Christmas tree?
I already put up my Christmas tree. I've already wrapped some gifts. I've already decorated the
What the
apartment.
hell's wrong with you? You already wrapped gifts?
Okay, I am not a procrastinator.
Okay, it's not December yet.
I also have a one-bedroom apartment.
Okay, but get a wrapped gift, get a wrapped gift. It's not even December yet. Well, no, it's fake Friday. It's December 1st.
It's December 1st. That's officially right now. I don't have anywhere to put stuff. So you know what? I wrap it. I put it under the tree.
Okay. Did you already light all the candles of the menorah? I mean,
I did. I celebrated all at once. I spin the dreidel and have a go.
You know that
Next week is Kwanzaa.
That's actually, I have to say that growing up, that's one of the things that at the time you don't realize it, but I'm really happy about it because my third grade teacher was Jewish, and we celebrated Hanukkah in her classroom in addition to Christmas. But we did the whole 8 days of Hanukkah. We played Spin the Dreidel.
Okay.
We got gelt.
Cool. The most we did was we learned the dreidel song because our music teacher was Jewish.
We learned the dreidel song too. We had latkes. Which are amazing. They
are so good.
Amazing. And I'm really happy about that because I got exposed to that at a very young age. So, it was a completely different world for me, a completely different culture. So it was really neat that I got, because I was exposed to that at such a young age, those were things that were never foreign to me.
Right.
So I wasn't like what in high school, and I'm like, what's a latke?
What's a menorah? Yeah.
What's a, what?
Yeah.
Like, what is that thing you spit? It was very familiar for me. And then I had another teacher in my fourth grade teacher also was Jewish, but we didn't celebrate it as much in her class, but we also.
But there's exposure.
I was exposed to it at a very young age, and I'm very happy that I did. I haven't put up the Christmas tree yet, but
you're doing it like en estos días.
I am, but I got a real tree. I'm not getting a fake tree. I got a real tree, and that's the whole pomp and circumstances and show. And
¿Tú has visto cuánto cuesta the real trees este año?
I don't know.
No. I'm just telling you because
I don't know.
The other day I was at
real trees have been you could buy a car with like what a real tree is.
El otro día I saw a 6-foot tree at the Sunshine Market, $110
for a 6-foot tree.
For a 6-foot tree.
Oh my god.
110.
No, and you know what they tell you the 6-foot trees. Because I'm 6 feet tall.
Right. That's not a 6-foot tree.
Yeah, that's like a 4-foot tree with like a 2-foot needle in the middle.
Right.
Or
un tramo de trunk at the bottom.
Un tramo de trunk.
That's our next shirt, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Tramo de trunk.
Okay, so let me ask you something.
All right.
This is not a topic, but
okay. Well, it is now.
Here on our desk, we see a dime. We have a dime.
Okay.
Listeners.
Dime.
Till this day, what do you think of when you think of a dime? I think of one thing and one thing only. When I think of a dime...
Uncle Scrooge.
Yes.
Uncle Scrooge.
When I think of a dime, I think of one thing and one thing only. And that's Uncle Scrooge Lucky Dime.
From DuckTales.
My lucky dime. See, I don't think of anything else.
It took me a minute, but I haven't thought of it in a while.
I don't think of it as U.S. currency. I don't think of it as 1/10 of a dollar. I think of the dime for Scrooge.
Like it should be in a vault.
Well, it was in a vault.
No, but when you see it, it should be in a vault.
It's lucky dime. And then I always think, like, is this my lucky dime that I'm getting rid of? Maybe this is it.
We never get a close-up of his lucky dime. I'm wondering, like, obviously it's got to be a duck. Or is it another animal? Because there are multiple animals in the DuckTales universe.
Yes. But it's not... It's not FDR.
It's not. No.
No, wait. Who's on the dime? You know, I'm really bad at currency, like presidents. I can't know everything.
I'm bad at it with coins because they're little.
It's funny because the other day, Tristan found a quarter. He was one random quarter. He's like, "Oh, this quarter is from like Nebraska. When did they do quarters of Nebraska?" I'm like, "Oh, it was a whole millennium thing.
Oh,
People
yeah.
bought maps.
There was maps. My grandfather had them.
Did you inherit it?
I probably think we probably kept the quarters and threw away the map.
How can you throw away the map?
Darian, la cantidad de mierda que tenía mis abuelos.
How can you throw away the map?
Darian,
How can you throw away the map?
la cantidad de mierda. Actually, you know what? That is probably even something that didn't even make it to the second house. That probably was when they moved, because my parents and my uncle and his wife just packed everything up.
I don't care. My Disney cups from Burger King from 1994 are safely stored. And you know where they are? You know where all my cups, my collectible cups are?
I'm assuming there's an attic involved.
No, there's not an attic involved. Even better, because attics are hot. My parents' house doesn't have an attic.
Oh, okay. I thought it did.
Okay, listeners, like, you know, in the 90s especially, like Burger King and McDonald's had all these glass collections. Like
Collector cups.
I collected the 1994 Burger King cups of the Disney movies.
Those are the ones that were like the VHSs.
I don't know if they were for VHS, but they were Snow White, The Little Mermaid, The Jungle Book,
The Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. It was all of them. All of them.
Yeah.
And they came in the box and all that. So I have those. I have the Millennium Collection from McDonald's. McDonald's had 2 sets of glasses for like the Millennium.
The Millennium Collection is the one that was glass.
They were both glass, but they had the round ones that had like the Epcot 2000.
Yes,
thing.
that's what I'm thinking
And
of.
then they had the ones that were squarish.
Yes.
Okay, I have all that stuff put away. You know the cabinets on top of the fridge that are never opened?
They're there.
The little ones, they're there because those aren't touched.
That's true.
Nobody ever
Nobody uses
opens that cabinet. My mom doesn't even know they're there. Like, she forgets they're there. And I'm like, nobody's touching this shit.
No,
Like,
we still have those. We still have those in my parents' house.
I'll never
somewhere
forget.
tucked away.
I'll never forget that when I was up in Michigan, a Hurricane Wilma came down here, and Wilma, if I recall, it wasn't like an Andrew, but it did cause some damage. And I remember my parents were like, "No, porque el techo, you know, when they say que el techo se fue, it means that some of the pieces of the tiles went away. Y hay un poco de liqueo en la cocina." I'm like, "¿Y a dónde está el liqueo?" I'm like, is it anywhere near the cabinets on top of the fridge?
I love that your parents were probably like, why is he so concerned about where in the kitchen the leak is?
Dude, and my glasses are in the original box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff, but
you know what? Someday you'll put it on display. Maybe you'll donate it to Smithsonian.
I would give it to a collector, but I wouldn't give it to somebody who would sell it.
So you would give it to somebody who would have it just like as a display.
So I
Okay.
could say from the personal collection of Darian Borges.
We'll give it to the Smithsonian.
I think.
You don't know what they have.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Maybe they're waiting for it.
So I wanted to touch on something that it's now going to be the 4th week that we talk about Hall & Oates.
Hall & Oates.
Okay.
It's Hall & Oates corner.
This is the 4th week that we talk about Hall & Oates. Pero la cosa está buena, people.
I think we should make it 5.
La cosa está buena.
It just keeps getting better.
So, as you all know, all of you know this because all of you have texted us. During the Thanksgiving break, I can't tell you how many DMs we got on Pero Let Me Tell You, and I got in my personal Instagram, because some of you are kind enough to follow me in my personal Instagram, DJ Borges19 on Instagram, about Hall & Oates, that Hall is suing Oates.
Yep.
So, oye, la cosa está heavy.
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you read the article?
I didn't read the latest.
Okay, so Hall is suing Oates because apparently what happened is that Oates wanted to sell his half
of the catalog,
the catalog and of the music rights and of the trademarks for Hall & Oates, and you know, Hall was like, we can't go for that.
No.
And I can't go for that.
No.
And we're funny.
What I want, you got, and you're not letting it go.
Yeah, and Oates was like, man, times are changing. You're out of touch.
Yeah. And his wife just wants to be a rich girl.
Instead of being a man-eater.
Exactly.
Anyway. And you know what? Oates goes back to him and he's like, you know, it's the method of modern love. Anyway, okay, back to the nonsense.
So no, but Hall found out about this because I think he hired some private eyes.
Anyway, so the point is that they're suing their pants off of each other.
Yep.
And which is a shame because they've been together for like 50 years.
It's crazy.
They've been friends for 50 years. Please don't sue me.
I was just gonna say, like, you know what? You can have the recipes. It's okay. Like,
Arriba Pollo recipes.
they're yours.
So yeah, so listeners, I'm really happy that all of you are as invested in the Hall & Oates trajectory as we are. So I mean, you guys were sending us stuff like concerned, like concerned
like we had a stake in it.
Yes. Did you guys hear about this? So this is week 4. We're talking about Hall & Oates. So who knows? Maybe there'll be more legal proceedings in the next week. So we'll go for week 5.
Yeah. Listen. Well, as long as
Maybe
there's
they'll
updates,
settle out of court by next week, and
and then we can report on that.
and we can report on that.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's what we should do for next season's preview. We should just recreate a Hall & Oates music video.
they're all really bad.
That's the beauty of it.
So
I would totally be Oates.
anyway, yeah, because I'm not going to be Oates.
Yeah, I'll be Oates.
I'll be Daryl.
I'll be John Oates. You just pictured me with a perm, didn't you?
I had a mustache.
Yeah.
So anyway, so there was something now that a real topic of
Yes.
conversation.
Now that we've handled the real
So
stuff.
there's something that I read this week that I thought was very, very interesting, and it was actually an article on NBC.com.
Yep.
And the article was about Gen Zers, okay, that they're nostalgic for the era of clubbing that they didn't exist, that they didn't experience, because Gen Zers, most of them were born in the late 90s, early 2000s. So they grew up with songs. This is really funny, but this is actually in the headline. They grew up with songs about getting crunked in the club.
Aw, they all want to be Marco Rubio.
No, Marco Rubio's from before.
Oh, okay.
No, because Gen Zers were born.
That's right.
Gen Zers were born when Marco Rubio was in the foam parties at Cream.
Right. That's right.
They were born. So they were Gen Zers, I think, is 1995 through like 2010,
something like that
they were born. So a lot of them that were born in the late 90s, early 2000s already, legal adults that they could go clubbing. So anyway, the article was talking about how Gen Zers, with all this music that they grew up on in, again, the late 90s and early 2000s, that was very like Pitbull, like clubbing, crunk in the club. We're gonna get crunked in the club.
Everybody had a remix.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna go to the club and get crunk with Britney.
Oh yeah.
The Yin Yang Twins. Anyway, so they are not experiencing that because apparently clubbing for 20-some-year-olds is very different.
It is.
Than what we experienced, right? And apparently now clubbing is like smaller spaces, and you're talking about a generation that doesn't communicate in person like we do,
right? Because
they come from an era where they could be all crunked in the club on their phones,
at home.
And the article talks about, again, that some people are so wrapped up in recording the moment and posting it on social media that they're not living in the moment.
I say that all the time.
Right? But this is an actual article stating all of this, and they interviewed a bunch of people that are of that age group, and they're saying that. So I just thought it was very interesting because, again, it's one of those things that we talk about, but you know how sometimes you talk about things, but you think that maybe you or your people are the only ones that think that, but when you see it in a major news publication, right. It brings some validity to it. So I thought it was a very interesting angle that, again, these kids grew up with this music about going to the club and partying and living your best life and all that, and that's not so much what their experience has been.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, like the era of the mega clubs, like your mansions and your levels and Danceteria is much older, but those mega clubs, it really did start to die out about like the mid 2000s, give or take, the mid aughts, as they say. So yeah, this is something that doesn't exist in that same way anymore. What you see a lot of now is like bars that will have like a dance floor or an event space where there will be some type of event and there'll be music. But
what I think is incredible here in Miami, that space is still open.
That's about it. But again, but think about space as an after hours club, right? So it's not even like you have to wait until like 4 a.m. for it to open up. It's not even like, oh, let's just go out dancing.
But the fact that it's still around,
like, fair enough, but that's an anomaly because we're a party city, you know. So that's always going to kind of be around.
right? But there's a lot of big clubs that have come and gone.
Oh no, for sure, yeah. Like I just said, Level, Mansion. I think there were.
Do you remember Baja Beach Club?
Baja Beach Club,
Glam Slam.
That's what I'm saying.
Bar 609.
Warsaw. Amnesia.
I mean, Dalia shot a whole video there.
That's true. I mean, what more do we need? That's why they shut down. They're like, we've topped it. There's nothing up after this. But yeah, all those, you know, the mega clubs. And then, like you were saying, the other thing is, I mean, I've gone out, even now when I go out, like, you know, on occasion to go dancing or at a bar or whatever, you see all these kids in their 20s. And it's what you said. They are amongst other people on their phones. Mm-hmm. And then you hear them lament about like, oh, I can't meet anybody. And it's like, well, if you just like lifted your head up just a little, just a smidge, and looked at someone else in the eye and struck up a conversation, you'd meet someone. But it's that thing of like, I've literally seen people at like gay clubs. Everyone is there. And you literally see these guys like on the hookup apps. It's like, they're literally 10 feet away from you. The app tells you it's 10 feet away from you. Just go over there and say, hey, you're cute or whatever. It's this inability, like you said, to connect in IRL, in real life, you know? I understand what they miss, but then I feel like they also kind of almost need like a tutor to teach them how to do it in real life.
Look, it's one of those things that like...
I know things change.
Things change, obviously. And look, we're guilty of that too, because I go out and I'm documenting it, but I'm very aware of it, right? And I record a lot, but I don't post it because I have this whole rule that I don't post things. You don't record to post. You record to remember. I do, and then I post it. But I also don't post when I'm at someplace. So if I'm out somewhere now, I'm not going to post where I'm at.
You'll post it like 2 days later, right?
Or just an hour later. Once I'm not there, once I leave, I'll post it. Yeah.
And usually, I guess the exception would be like obviously, you know, with the podcast and with Bimam Pollo,
right? No. But in my personal life, I don't do that because like I don't. It's like I feel weird with people also, knowing where I'm at.
Why do you need to know where I'm at?
Right, especially in this Instagram world that, you know, most of the people that follow me, I don't know who they are.
Yeah, you don't need to know where I'm at.
Right, so it's like you don't need to know where I'm at. But yeah, it's people are always on their phones, and again, I'm guilty of that, you know. But I'm very conscious of it, and I very purposely try to have a balance because I've just always been the type of person that likes to document everything.
Well, before phones, you just have a camera.
I always had a camera. I always had a pocket camera with me.
It's different.
And before the little pocket cameras were in, I had the big clunky camera that I would take everywhere.
You would even take a disposable camera if that's all you could get your hands on.
I would. That's why our lives have been documented for the last like 30 years, you know, to the degree they have.
I will say it's annoying when it's happening, but now you get to look back on wonderful memories.
Yeah. So, I think they really... It's just generational, I guess, and it is what it is. But my only thing about that is like, don't be nostalgic about it in a negative way. Like, oh, we don't get to experience that. Well, but you have to start with you. Like,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's quote unquote easy enough. Like, you just put your phone in your pocket, and now you're halfway there.
Change starts with you.
It does.
You're the man in the mirror,
like a dime.
Like a dime.
Like a dime.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Yes, and I'm asking him to change his ways.
Yeah.
Caballero, the holidays are already here, and us Latinos like to wait until the last minute to find the perfect holiday gift. But why not get the perfect gift early? Claro, I'm talking about the perfect jean. I've been gushing about the perfect jean for years. The stretch and comfort are unmatched. And they just released a new premium 99% cotton version of their jeans. They got that old school jeans look con un poquito de stretch for that perfect jean comfort we love. Think classic meets comfort that's a bit more breathable. Our favorite combo. But it's not just their jeans that are perfect. I'm also tremendo fan of their perfect tees. Made with 95% cotton and 5% spandex, these tees are durable, but more importantly, hug you in the right places to make you look and feel great. Hell, it turns a dad bod like mine into a sexy boppy bod. And it wouldn't be a perfect jean spot without a discount. Use code BIDDLE20 for 20% off your first order at theperfectgene.nyc. Así que don't wait until the last minute. Get the perfect gift with the perfect gene today. And don't forget to use code BIDDLE20 for 20% off your first order.
So I wanted to say something else. This is a fun little thing. Okay. So I posted this week on our Instagram a meme or a reel that went viral from Only in Dade about Miami versus Fort Lauderdale. And I kind of wanted to touch upon that in the podcast. We've talked about this before on the show.
Yeah, this isn't new.
This isn't new. But I posted it this week on Pedro's podcast, and it did really well. And, people liked it and shared it and all that. So here's the thing I want to say.
I feel there's a but coming.
No.
So, okay.
Here's what I want to say about the whole Miami Fort Lauderdale thing, which I don't understand. And it's not that I'm hating on Fort Lauderdale, because I go to Fort Lauderdale. I like Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, same.
But I will never understand the people that come to South Florida and they visit Fort Lauderdale and they don't visit Miami. People, that is like saying you're going to New York City, right? And you only visit Staten Island and you don't go to Manhattan. It's like, you didn't go to New York City, man. You didn't go to New York City, bro. You didn't. So don't come to South Florida and just go to Fort Lauderdale and not go to Miami. It's like, it's not a good look, bro. It really is not. It's not. Because like, we're 25 miles away. And say what you will about Miami, but we're a world-class cosmopolitan international city.
With late night after hours clubs.
Fort Lauderdale is not. So coming here and going to Fort Lauderdale and not coming to Miami, not a good look, bro. That's all I want to say about that. So
that was it. All right, that was your PSA.
That was my PSA.
That was your PSA.
And I will never understand you people that come to Fort Lauderdale and just don't go to Miami, even if you're going to spend most of your time in Fort Lauderdale, right? Miami is 25 miles.
Yeah, you're already,
and it's a one-way shot. I-95 south.
That's true. You don't it's not even like difficult.
No. That's all I have to say about that. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thank you for coming to his TED Talk. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, again, that's a great comparison where you're like, yeah, you went to Staten Island. And
do you want me to tell you what I really think?
You know what? I don't.
It's our podcast.
I don't.
Do you know what I really think?
I don't think you have to ask. Just
do you know what I really think? People don't come to Fort Lauderdale because they don't want to deal with the Bad Bunny of it all. I do.
The Bad Bunny of it all?
They don't want to deal with the Latiness of it all.
Really?
I do.
Well, you know what? You've almost teed me up perfectly for the topic I was going to bring up.
They don't. I don't think they want to deal. They're up there in Fort Lauderdale with all their Anglo-American friends. I think they don't want to deal with the Latiness, the loudness, the craziness. Everybody speaks Spanish. All that. The bullshit that we love so much about Miami that
we bitch about. But yes,
we bitch about it. But you talk about it, I will cut you.
It's like family. I can hate all of them. If you say something, I will fucking kill you.
But that's what it is. I will be the first one to freaking tear Miami to shreds. But if you are not from Miami-Dade County,
you don't get that.
And
you don't get to do
start
that.
talking about Miami, things are going to get rough really quick for you. It's not going to go well for you.
It's going to go south, pun intended.
And this includes Broward County, which is our sister county.
Yes.
You don't get to talk about us, Broward.
We normally love you, but
you can keep your intercoastal.
But don't make us throw elbows.
I love when people are like, because Broward has the intercoastal. I'm like, so what? We have South Beach and the Atlantic Ocean.
We're not landlocked. Ni que fuéramos Kansas.
We have the intercoastal.
Which is
lovely.
Intercoastal's
nice.
It's very nice. Mm-hmm. And I like that stretch of Hollywood Beach and all of that. That's very pretty.
Mira, Hollywood Beach is nice. It is.
It's nice. I like the whole boardwalk and
it is.
It's very Santa Monica.
Miami Beach is nicer. The beach. I'm not even talking about the vibe, the buildings. The beach is nicer because Miami Beach is an island. It's an archipelago. So that's why it has crystal blue turquoise waters, right. and Hollywood Beach, Fort Lauderdale doesn't.
Right, because it's the coast.
Yeah, right. That's why our beach is better. So whatever, bro. You stay with your little Fort Lauderdale cosita.
All right, well,
you're the 954 of it all.
We're not going to get that Fort Lauderdale Greater Tourism Board sponsorship.
But do we want to?
Listen, I'll take anybody's money.
I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Wait. Can you imagine our content? Hi, welcome to Fort Lauderdale. Pero let me tell you, wants to welcome you to Fort Lauderdale.
Listen, if they knock on our door tomorrow and offer us money, pa dinero baila mono, okay? And I will dance depending on how much the paycheck is for.
I did take 3 theater classes at FIU, so
there you go.
I'm sure I could pretend.
You could fake it till you make it. But no, I mentioned that you kind of teed me up for something. So I don't know if you saw this. So it's kind of 2 topics rolled in one, as I like to do sometimes. So you were saying that people don't like to come down here for the Bad Bunny, the Latino of it all. They're going to have a really big problem in 2060. Because by then, the projection is that Hispanics are going to be 26.9% of the population.
In the country?
Yes, whereas now they are 19%.
So it's about 7% more.
Yeah, so it's scheduled to grow.
Saludame a Titi, dame un selfie. Say cheese.
So yeah, they're saying that right now the U.S. Latino population is about 1 in 5 Americans, and it's projected to become 1 in 4, according to the U.S. Census Bureau projections. Meanwhile, the non-Hispanic white population is projected to continue to decline from 58.9% that it is now to 44.9% by 2060. So those people are going to have a very hard time just, traveling anywhere, not just Miami. But the reason I bring that up is because I know you don't listen to the radio, but recently there's a new radio station here in South Florida. I don't know how familiar you are with any of the radio stations that are currently live at all.
Other than Y100 and Power
96? Not really. Okay.
And Hot 105?
Okay, well.
Is She's 103.5 still on?
It's the beat. But yes, okay. 103.5. Yeah. It's a hip-hop station now. So, yeah. So, 93.9 was a 90s station, then it became...
That was Planet Radio, right?
Yeah. The Heart Media bought it. They turned it in... At first, it was a 90s station. Then it became like a top 40 station or what have you. It is now... So it was like 93.9 MIA. Now it is called Magic 93.9. Now, the name is misleading because Magic 93.9 is actually turning the format into an experiment by iHeartRadio based on, as they put it, the unique makeup of Miami. Mm-hmm. It is Spanish language DJs, but the music, although it says it's from like 80s and 90s, it's a blend of English language music and Spanish language music.
Okay, good.
So essentially, it's like our playlists.
Right.
Like the other day I was listening and it was like Lionel Richie, Rod Stewart, Ana Gabriel, Madonna, Hall Oates.
Yeah. So
Ricky Martin.
In essence, it's what our lives have sounded like.
Exactly. So I just found that really interesting. I was like, oh shit, it's like somebody's paying attention. And
is it only here?
From the article that I read, it is the only one in the US as far as iHeart Media that they are actually doing. So I think it is like a test project. But I will say this: I only have 2 suggestions for them. Number one, they need to change the algorithm, and it's only been live since like Thanksgiving weekend. Right now, it's about like 4 English songs and 1 Spanish song. I say blend it a little bit more, right? So it's not so marked the changes. But I also think, like, you know what? Go crazy. Go fucking crazy with it. If you're going to do this, like, go balls to the wall with it. Like, you know what? When you play Shakira, never play her in English. Only play her in Spanish.
Absolutely.
If you're going to play Ricky Martin, Private Emotion, play the video version. Like, if you're going to play everything that was on the box in the late 90s, right? Like, if you're going to do this, do it right. Don't play it safe.
So I'm glad you mentioned that
because I don't listen to music based on language. I listen to music based on my taste.
So look, I understand, especially with music, you have to do what's marketable. Record companies are behind this, making decisions.
Yeah, radio slowly dying.
And telling artists what to do. I've said this. I'm not the only person that says that. Let's take somebody like Shakira. Shakira's music in Spanish is infinitely better than her music in English. I understand why she crossed over to English, and it made perfect sense. Successful, and she was very successful. But Shakira's music in Spanish is incredible.
It's poetry.
In English, it's not. Right. It's I would say disposable pop. Ricky Martin. I love when you hear people that are not Latin be like, "Oh my God, Ricky Martin."
He's still around.
He's still around. Ricky Martin was a hot one-hit wonder. Actually, no, bro. Ricky Martin has been in our.
Clearly, you only visited Fort Lauderdale,
right? Yes, Ricky Martin has been in our lives since like I could remember. Right, Ricky Martin's music is much better in Spanish than it is in English. That is why I respect Maluma so much, because Maluma is somebody who is on the top of his game. Maluma speaks perfect English, and he has said several times, why am I going to make English
Bunny.
music, right? Why? But Maluma speaks perfect English, right?
Right.
So if he wanted to, he could
Tomorrow,
do
yeah.
he could do a Spanish
crossover,
an English
yeah.
album, but he hasn't because he has said, Maluma has said, why am I going to make an English record if my music is in Spanish?
Right.
And even when he had that song with Madonna, his verses were in Spanish.
Yeah.
So I give him a lot of credit. I mean, we're also living in a different time. I give him a lot of credit that he has stayed true to his roots. And I just think that when these Spanish artists cross over to English, and again, I understand why they did it, their music is watered down and it's just not as good. And yeah, no, I'm really happy that Spanish music, especially like popular Spanish music, current Spanish music, has been played on pop radio, on regular radio, top 40 radio.
Yeah.
Because, we're not the Latin community. We're not 2 or 3 people anymore. We make up a chunk. So, we always talk about, where are we being represented and, our voices being heard and, our identity and all that. Well, you know what? One of the ways you do it is by music. Music is a universal language. I mean, there's a lot of songs that I listen to in French,
Yes.
in freaking German that I have in my playlist. In Korean, BTS, in Korean. And when music is good, it's good.
Yeah.
So I've never understood this whole thing with American radio that how dare you play a Spanish song.
Well, I mean, I understand it from just a stupid, narrow-minded perspective. But yeah, it's like I always say, it's like we're not 50-50, we're 100-100. And it's not like when I'm going down the radio dial or on my playlist, on whatever, it's not like at some point I'm like, well, I'm going to be Hispanic now, so let me listen to the Spanish.
But you know what?
I'm going to be American now.
But you know what?
It just is.
I think it's very short-sighted because let me tell you this. When Ricky Martin, years ago when La Vida Loca made it big, he had a run there for like 2 or 3 years where he was enormous in English radio on MTV. Los Americanos loved Ricky Martin.
So they couldn't get enough.
Okay, that would have been a perfect time to be like, you know what? We're going to play Maria on the radio, which Maria was in a huge international
Gigantic
single. Or La Copa de la Vida. For God's sake, that was like the
World Cup anthem.
World Cup anthem. That was an awesome song.
Nobody gives a fuck about the World Cup in the U.S.
Right, but that song was an international hit. Right? That would have been the perfect time to be like, okay, this guy's hot right now.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Let's play his like really good
and
Spanish
he has a catalog.
Songs. He has but like those songs that were international hits,
Right.
right? And we're still pretty recent at that time. Now would be a good time to start playing this stuff on radio and see where it goes. They never did that,
right?
And again, like Shakira is one that like really frustrates me.
It's
because,
markedly
as
different.
you said, her lyrics in Spanish are poetry.
They are. They absolutely
especially of her earlier records. And then, we get stuck with whenever.
She-Wolf.
I don't even mind She-Wolf. Whenever, my breasts are small and humble, so you don't compare them with mountains. That's not a good song. It's not. I'm sorry. It's
Underneath
not.
Your Clothes is.
Oh.
You don't like that song?
That song is awful.
Really?
Awful. Absolutely awful. I think it's actually her worst song.
Really?
Yes. Underneath Your Clothes.
There's an endless story.
There's
the man I love. There's my territory.
And all the things I deserve for being such a good girl. Like, really? You're the same person who wrote Inolvidable, who wrote esta Ojos Así, and you're talking about for being such a good girl.
The translation,
honey.
The English version of Ojos Así
is terrible.
Is awful.
Oh my God. I had
eyes like knocking down windows and doors, yet I haven't seen Eyes Like Yours.
Okay, listeners, this is hilarious. This is actually really funny. When I first got Alexa, I love the song Ojos Así by Shakira. It's one of my favorite songs. Whenever I would request, hey Alexa, play Ojos Así by Shakira, she wouldn't understand it. So finally, I figured out that I had to say, Alexa, play Ojo ASI by Shakira, and she would understand it. Ojo, I had to go like ho, Merry Christmas. I had to go ho ASI by Shakira.
And she'd play it.
But if I said Ojos Así by Shakira, Alexa wouldn't play it. And I'm like, Alexa, you need to learn some Spanish.
Well, mira, en esa parte, my car has always been bilingual because the minute that I had it, I would say, call Darian, calling Darian Borges.
Oh yeah.
It was always Borges.
All right. Well, but did you request Shakira?
I did not. No, so we don't know.
Underneath Your Clothes.
It's a pretty song.
You know the only
it's a pretty song.
You know the only really good song Shakira has in English?
Objection Tango.
No.
I like that song.
Hips Don't Lie. And why is Hips Don't Lie so good?
Well, because it sounds like her older stuff.
No, because it was a Jerry Rivera sample. And Wyclef Jean. That's why that song is so good. So we're taking it back to the Caribbean, you know.
We're taking it back to the sample of old school,
Yeah, we're taking it back to, Spanish, and all that.
Spanish influence, yeah.
Right. Because, again, Underneath Your Clothes, really?
I like it.
Objection, I don't want to be the
I like Objection Tango.
Oh, no, but you know what, though? Again,
I like Objection Tango because Objection Tango did not sound like anything else on the radio.
But standalone, it's not that they're bad songs, but when you compare them
no,
her catalog, they're terrible.
They're down the list.
They're terrible. I'm sorry. I don't like English Shakira. I just don't. I don't. I don't like English Shakira. So, ciego está cansado ya de ver la lluvia caer.
That is such a good song.
Oh, that song is so good. No encuentro forma ninguna de olvidarte porque seguir atándome. Is what?
I don't remember.
Inevitable. Anyway,
look at you with the sugar. So I think you should take a listen to the station, if for no other reason than to see what they throw at you.
It's called Magic.
It's called.
Can it be called Magia?
That's the thing, but that's almost
Magic 193.9. I think it's like
oldies,
70s, 80s, and today.
Yeah, and then
I just dated myself.
You did. All the DJs are speaking Spanish.
So now it would be like aughts, tens, and today.
That sounds stupid.
I know, right? Because I remember when we were kids.
They probably say like from the 2000s to today.
I remember when we were kids in the 80s. It was like the 60s, 70s,
the
and
50s,
today.
not even the 60s.
Okay, well, no. I'm sorry. But in the 80s, they weren't playing 50s music.
On Magic, yes, they were.
I'm talking about Coast.
Okay,
what were you listening to?
Magic.
What is Magic?
Magic 102.7. It's the oldie station.
No. I don't listen to oldie station. I would listen to, that one, the...
Right, but remember, as a kid, I'm in the car with my parents who grew up mostly in this country.
No, as a kid, I would be in the car with my parents listening to FM 92 con
right.
Betty Pino.
Right, you have Peluqueria Rock.
You know who Betty Pino was?
Of course I know who Betty Pino was.
Yeah.
She passed away so long ago.
We even used to go to Aplauso 92, which was like the radio station's award show.
You did?
I did, and I saw Lucia Mendez sing Se Acabó in the Maria Elena dress.
Oh.
Yeah. In 1992.
Oh, please tell me that you have a picture of that.
No, I didn't.
Damn it.
I mean, I was really, really young.
I was hoping because that's like iconic, and then there's iconic.
But also in the early actually in the 90s, they really wouldn't let you take a camera to a concert.
Oh, that's true.
I remember when I went to see Mariah Carey
right.
in the Music Box Tour, November 3rd, 1993, they did not let me take the camera in.
Yeah, because back then it was a camera. It wasn't like now. Yeah.
No, but now you could take a camera and they won't. Now you could take a drone. And
now you can show up with a camera crew.
You can be like, okay.
Oh, everybody gonna take it? Sure. Mientras que pagaron con lo que cuestan los tickets.
Remember when we went to see Mariah in the Rainbow Tour?
Yes, I do. That's when she saw you.
She did. And I took 100. I took like 10 rolls of film. Like I just like pressed the button of the camera. It was like dee, 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 dee. The shutter is like dee, dee, dee.
And that is, you know what? I'll fight anybody who says that didn't happen.
But it did.
I know.
So,
but again, that's one of those things where it's like eso no es cuento tuyo because I was there.
So how is everybody? The box. Televisión musical que tú controlas.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, the box introduced me to so much music. I wouldn't know it Moñoñón if it wasn't because of the box.
But that's what I mean. Like if you're gonna do this radio station and you're using Miami as the test market, if you're focusing on 80s and 90s, like just do it. Like
shit. You know when the box who I loved, what was his name? Javier Garcia. Quédate un ratico y después te bajas. Para de correr. Tranquila.
Oh my God. I was like, wait, I know this song. Play that.
I went and bought. Do you know how many CDs I bought
because of
the songs that I listened to on the box?
I believe it.
I mean, in an alternate universe, they're still playing Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. I mean, it was on for about 6 months. nonstop.
I think that, you know how they say that the signal into outer space takes longer? Like, a couple years ago, they were just getting I Love Lucy. There's going to be about a year where all they're going to get is Unbreak My Heart,
so let's see.
and
So
My Heart Will Go On.
listeners, so ones of you who remember the box here in Miami, was the box everywhere in the country?
So that's what I was just about to ask you, because I know the box was European,
yes.
but I don't know how far into the
I
US
don't
it
know
got.
how I ended up in the studios of the box in South Beach. I went one time, and I don't know why I went, but I was there. I don't know why I went.
What was their studio?
Their studio was in South Beach, and it was in some random building. And I went. I think it was because of my cousin.
But they didn't have original programming. What were they?
no, but it was like their offices.
Oh, okay. Like, what's the studio? What they use
No, it was
studio
their
for?
offices. Somebody had to pick up the phone.
Oh, you're right.
So let's see. What did they play the most in the box? So I hope a lot of you remember the box, but for those of you who don't remember the box,
yes,
it was a music channel that you would call in and request videos, and then in the bottom of the screen,
it was like a video jukebox.
Yeah, they would play. They would have the name of the video and the number, and then you would call in and punch the number, and the video that you requested in a few minutes would
go
come
on
out.
a queue. Yeah.
But what happened was that whenever really popular songs would would be around, people would keep requesting the same song.
Right.
So let's think about some of the songs that just were on for about 10 years.
All right.
Maria.
Unbreak My Heart.
I'm Breaking My Heart. My Heart Will Go On.
Yes.
What else?
That's how I first found Aqua. After Barbie Girl.
Okay.
So there was a little the Spice Girls had a lot of
okay. Here we go. The box had to have been everywhere because the Spice Girls had the whole promo.
Yes,
they were them recording a Wannabe.
Right.
Okay. So who else? I saw a lot of Mata Sanchez on the box.
There was a lot of Mata
a lot
Sanchez.
of Mili from Puerto Rico.
A lot of DLG.
A lot of DLG.
Yeah. We're missing our favorites.
What?
The Merenbooty Girls.
The Merenbooty Girls. Okay, listeners, if you're from Miami, okay, I'm going to make this a little video. Okay.
All right.
If you are from Miami or South Florida and you remember the Merenbooty Girls, drop a comment below. Because if you remember the Merenbooty Girls, you know exactly. It's one of those, if you know, you know. Like, you'll know exactly, what was it? The Merenbooty
mix.
That they sang like disco songs. And it was just, you had to be there. You had to watch it. So if you don't know who the Merenbooty Girls are, just go to YouTube and look up Merenbooty Girls.
Yes,
they only had one video, so
I want to add to that. If you know one of the Merenbooty Girls, tag them in the comments below, because that would be awesome.
Listen, if there's a Merenbooty girl, I will bring her on the show.
I would totally. Are we going to reunite the Merenbooty Girls?
Pero let me tell you, reunite some Merenbooty Girls. You can ring my bell, ring my bell.
I remember, I think it was where we would print the newspaper or something
Merenbooty Girls.
that had like one of their promo shots and those autographed by the Merenbooty Girls.
I'm sure that the Merenbooty Girls had a picture in the autograph wall at Hot Wheels.
Oh, and now it's closing.
Yeah, but it's becoming something else.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a little bit of drama behind that.
Okay.
The skating rink is not closing. It's just it's changing ownership.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still going to be there. It's going to be called like Miami Roller Rink now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Because I was ready to go and take pictures. But then I was like, no, they're just changing the name.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
So we made a big deal about nothing.
No, but you know what though? When they did do that event, so it was Thunder Wheels.
It was Hot Wheels when we were kids.
But Thunder Wheels was a current iteration,
yeah.
And I mean, if you're from Miami, you know exactly what we're talking about.
That's where Jose se jodió
Thunder Wheels was the current iteration, and it's closing. But the space is very iconic. It's been open for over 30 years as a skating rink.
Yep.
I mean, we went there as kids, and there was, if you're from Miami and you
have a Hot Wheels memory.
You have a Hot Wheels
or
memory.
A Thunder Wheels memory.
Yeah.
Was
There's
it
somebody's
Super
birthday
Wheels
or
at one point too?
I don't know.
A lot of wheels.
I remember when I was a kid, we had to go to Sunrise to go to the Sunrise ice skating.
I never went
center.
to that.
Oh, I did.
I never went to that because you went to the white school.
No. I went with my aunt.
Oh, I thought it was like for birthday parties.
Gosh. I went with my aunt Janet, who's amazing.
She's awesome.
She's so politically incorrect. She is the definition of somebody who...
We could never have her on this show. Let's just put it that way.
She is the definition of IDGF.
Yeah.
I mean, definition. I don't IDGF. And I remember that the day that we went, there were figure skaters rehearsing. They were rehearsing on the ice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and she just went and bumped into them. I guess he's like she couldn't skate. Oh, she just bumped into them and she knocked them down. I was like, Janet, that could have been like in a Olympic.
Nancy Kerrigan or somebody. Yeah,
Nancy Kerrigan had other problems at that time.
that's true. That's true.
Anyway, so bring back the box.
I'm saying, or at least Magic 93.9 embrace the box of it all and play that music on the station.
There was a lot of Mili from Puerto Rico.
There was a lot of me.
Minerva, Estoy Llorando, Mónica Naranjo,
Sopo contraíd.
Sopa contra ayer,
Ajá. I can never say it.
Sopa contra ayer, digo.
It's SPC.
Oh, you know who I got really into? Alejandro Fernandez.
That's true. I feel like
Yes.
Alejandro Fernandez and Alejandro Sanz.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, amiga mia.
Yeah.
The best song ever. Let's talk about Alejandro Sanz for a minute. Okay. Corazón Partido
It's such a good song.
is one of the greatest songs ever. And if you don't like Alejandro Sanz, don't listen
Just
to our
fast forward.
podcast.
Fast forward this section. Fast forward. Just go.
Like, Corazón Partido, man. That is such a good song. That is like
That's
a
what
bop
that is. I think the epitome of like an unassuming song.
of how good it is.
Because it's not like it doesn't try to beat you over the head with the melody or the music or anything. It's just very mellow and it kind of just creeps up on you and washes over you and then it leaves. Mm-hmm. And then you don't really know what happened, but you're like, damn,
Listen,
that was
we've
good.
talked about all this time about the box and we haven't talked about the Thalia of it all. The Thalia videos that played on the box were Amándote, Gracias a Dios,
Yes.
and Amor a la Mexicana.
Yep.
Because Piel Morena, I think Piel Morena was out before the box started.
Yeah.
Before we got it on our cable.
Those three were like prime Thalia
And
on
I
the
would say
box.
that of those three, the one that played the most was Gracias a Dios.
Yeah.
Yeah. Le doy gracias a la
I
vida.
just closed my eyes and I saw her in the black wig.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we didn't have the other one.
No.
Paulina.
No. She didn't. No, none of her videos were really on the box, were they? No, I'm just trying to think. I'm like, yeah, it's weird.
I mean, listen, you want to talk about when people think of blondes competing against each other, they think about Bernie and Christina.
They got nothing on Thalia and Paulina.
And Paulina, but you know, you got to be Latin to know
That's
that
right.
one.
That's
But,
right. You have to have had the box.
Yeah, the box. Televisión musical que tú controlas. Yeah.
And then, for every great song, there was a horrible song that that I know is horrible, but I think I look at it, especially now through nostalgia glasses. What was the song about coffee and ice cream?
In Spanish.
Uh-huh.
Por un café, por un café,
por un helado.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that song's horrible. But when I
Horrible.
hear it, it makes me smile.
Yeah.
Because because it takes me back to, the time of the box.
Okay, we've done enough. We've talked enough about
But the box, all right.
Televisión con.
If anybody wants us for a documentary on the box, we're available.
Yeah, I mean, we can't talk about the top of the pops because we're not British.
No.
Man, I'm sure that the British equivalent of "Pero let me tell you," it's
man.
probably like, "Mate,
They talk about Top of the Pops so much.
mate, let's talk about it. Mate, let's talk about it." While we have some biscuits and some tea.
They probably talk a lot about Top of the Pops and like Blue Peter.
Wait, was Blue Peter?
It was some children's show.
Oh, was that the one of
No, not the one I was like,
right? Because our listeners are gonna know what it is. It's some video that went viral some years ago. That's I'm fulano, I'm fulana, whatever. Never mind. It's not worth going there. It's not worth going there. Man.
Oh, Lord. And that's okay. That is quite all right.
So are we thirsty?
We are thirsty.
So it is last soda time.
It is
all
last
this
soda.
box talk made us wait. That's what it was called. Box talk.
That is what it was called.
All this box talk. Okay, who is in programming that can bring back the box?
Nobody would do it now. Why would you call and order and pay for a video that you could just watch for free on YouTube?
I know, but it was so good. It was,
That's the thing. Is like it just wouldn't
again,
make
El
sense.
Moñoñón wouldn't be in my life
true.
if I didn't have
That's
the box.
true. Just gonna thank the box for that. For Moñoñón.
Emociones. Remember Emily? Física o no sé.
There was a lot of melee, and after a while, all the melee just ran together.
Christmas is here, the time of year we start baking for family and friends. So many recipes out there call for water, but substituting milk makes a much richer tasting treat. O sea, nobody leaves Santa Claus water in cookies. It's not just baked goods either. From hot chocolate, flan, or coquito, so many holiday treats are irresistible because of dairy. This holiday season, find the perfect recipe by visiting floridamilk.com or lechedeflorida.com. Feliz Navidad from your Florida dairy farmers, and pero let me tell you. Anyway, bueno, it's time for our last soda.
Yes.
So, I actually wanted to give a last soda and have a little chat about somebody who passed away this year, because one of the things that we always try to do here on our show is the whole listen, laugh, and learn. We've done a lot of laughing,
Yes.
so this is the learn part of it. And this week, Henry Kissinger died.
Oh yes,
and he was
yes,
100.
Yes,
and he was one of these people that has a very, very polarizing legacy. Some people think he was a statesman. He won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
And some people think he's a war
devil,
criminal.
yeah.
So when you have somebody who one group of people thinks he is literally a mass murderer and a war criminal, but on the other hand got the Nobel Peace Prize and is so... But it's people like that you want to read on.
Right.
And you want to learn about.
If you elicit those reactions...
I'm not going to litigate his case one way or the other. But I will tell you this. So Henry Kissinger was the...
I thought he was already dead, so...
Well, he was 100. Henry Kissinger was the Secretary of State under the Nixon administration. So obviously he had a really big role in American foreign policy pertaining to specifically the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And huge role. And, the Vietnam War, that was before our time. So a lot of times when I hear people say that things are really bad now and all that, well, they are. There's a lot of conflict going on right now. But I never lose perspective and sight that there have been eras in our country of extreme conflict. And the Vietnam War was one of them. Because, actually I was having this conversation with my father and my uncle during Thanksgiving, actually. I was telling him, look, from the mid-'60s, like sort of early-ish to mid-'60s, to the mid-'70s, you had the assassination of John F. Kennedy, of Robert Kennedy, of Martin Luther King, and you had the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And, you had the riots in
Watts?
Where a bunch of students were killed by the National Guard.
Is it Tiananmen?
No, that's...
no, sorry.
No.
When you said National Guard, never mind.
National Guard. It was it in Oklahoma? I forgot the state where students were protesting the Vietnam War and they were killed by the National Guard. So this was a very, very era of conflict. Horrible time.
Yeah, the Civil Rights
in
movement.
The United
States.
The Civil Rights movement. There was a lot that went on. So you got to keep that perspective. And Henry Kissinger was sort of the architect in terms of foreign policy of the Vietnam War. And, on the one hand, he's given credit for diplomatic relations that sort of ended the Vietnam War. But on the other hand, he is also one of the architects that led to the bombing in Cambodia, which thousands and thousands of people died. And then that set the course to other atrocities and things like that. So again, a very polarizing figure, and I'm not going to litigate his case one way or the other. But I mention him in terms of our last soda moment. So, you can go to our listeners, you can go and read upon him, and you can go and whether it's Wikipedia or whatever, just learn a little bit about him, and you make your decision on how you see him and what you see or don't you see. Because even just now that they've been reporting on his death, you read some articles that it's like, oh, Henry Kissinger, iconic and legendary statesman, dies at 100. Rolling Stone. Henry Kissinger, warmonger, and mass killer, dead at 100. So when you have somebody again that's so polarizing, that makes me want to know more about that person.
They're definitely an interesting person.
So I invite people who maybe don't know a lot about him, but maybe just have heard the name, but don't know exactly what he did or what he didn't do, to just go read upon him and learn a little bit about our history. So,
he did more than just get taken by Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, yes. Okay, it took me a second.
Really? You are like after Elizabeth Holmes, I think you're the person who knows the most about Elizabeth Holmes.
I could be an expert witness in the Elizabeth Holmes trial. Like, I know so much about Elizabeth Holmes.
I think if they ever need a proxy, like if she can't make it to something, they should just call you.
Yeah, I mean, they should use me as a consultant next time they do a movie about her or a documentary.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Holmes.
No, it's like, hi, I've never met any of these people. I had no stake in this, but I have listened to every... Okay, when you look up Elizabeth Holmes on Google and it shows you videos of her, I've seen every single video. Like, I've seen every single video. I've seen every single documentary that's been done of her, both in the United States and internationally. I've read every article. I've heard every podcast on her. I'm an expert witness on Elizabeth Holmes.
Well, should that ever come up, we'll keep that in mind. Should we ever have that need?
I mean, I think we should just have, a special series on Elizabeth Holmes. And for those of you who don't know who Elizabeth Holmes
I think they know who I am.
She's the one who is currently in jail for Theranos, the
whole
debacle thing,
Yes. All right. So my last soda is tied to somebody who's gotten the last soda previously, I think a couple times.
Wait, hold on. Back to the box. You know what song I just thought about?
What?
That I would have never, ever known if it wasn't for the box. Él camina como quiere y luce como quiere.
Albita.
Es ser un chico chévere, chévere. I would have never, ever listened to Albita. Ever.
That's true.
And here she was on the box.
That's true. And that was prime Albita.
Yeah.
That was like recién llegada Albita. So
recién llegada Albita's prime Albita.
Yeah, it is. She was fresh off the plane. So my last soda, like I was saying, it's tied back to somebody who I think I've given the last soda to twice, but I'm not giving it to her. My last soda, because I feel like these people need some refreshing in their life. They clearly have they have a bad taste in their mouth. I'm going to give it to the people who dared to criticize National Treasure Dolly Parton's performance.
I heard about this on
Thanksgiving Day.
Dallas.
Have you seen the pictures?
I have. She looked great.
She looked phenomenal. Okay, first of all, it's very clearly she's wearing like a flesh-colored, like she's not having her midriff.
Well, it has diamonds, like
right. I mean, you can tell it's like Britney, level things, right?
Yes. I mean, it's covered.
It's covered. It's very clearly covered. She's wearing pantyhose or whatever. How dare you criticize
our national treasure,
first of all, but second of all, you know what, you can't, this is the thing that, and look, I'm a guy, I know that I don't want to take up the space of women and everything, but this is the type of bullshit that women, I think, this is kind of what they mean when women say like they can't win, right?
But was it mostly women criticizing?
Well, no. I'm saying this is what women mean when they say like they can't win. Here's a woman who has talent upon talent upon talent, has done so much good in her life, and she, for her own reasons, at the start of her career and moving forward, decided that she's going to package it up in this Barbie doll image. Yes. Right? Great. We all bought into it.
Takes a lot of money to look that cheap.
Yes, we all bought into it. We love it. It's part of the Dolly package. You cannot criticize her then when she's 77 years old, still owning that caricature that she created, that she uses because she knows you can't handle her in any other way. She knows that in order for you to quote unquote take her seriously, she has to show up as the dumb blonde. Mm-hmm. And she's going to subvert that trope.
And she's in on the joke.
She created the joke.
Yeah.
Right? Also, this is a woman who has helped fund COVID vaccine. Mm-hmm. Her library that donates, I don't know how many
books from her.
That donates, I don't know how many books to children.
Since Tristan was born,
do you know the books. You know what she did with all the royalties that she's gotten from I Will Always Love You? Mm-hmm. She put that money back into underserved Black communities. Mm-hmm. So this is a woman who has done more. Dollywood exists because she bought, that used to be another theme park called Silver Dollar, no sé qué cosa. She bought it, renovated it so that she could create work in the area that she's from. So you know what? No. You don't get to criticize someone who has done so much with her life just because you think a 77-year-old should be what? I don't know, crocheting in a rocking chair somewhere?
The problem is that she could find the cure to all the diseases in the world. That there's still people who are going to be haters who are going to be troll, you know?
And she's going to do it dressed like Dolly Parton.
And I mean, so in that argument, it doesn't matter what her accolades are. Like, people are still just going to talk shit. They're going to talk shit.
Right. They're going to talk shit, you know, as we say here, man.
Because they just have to say something.
Right.
And yeah, I saw that. Whoopi Goldberg tore them apart.
Fellow national treasure.
On The View. She was like, she said something very similar. She's like, how dare you? Like, she was mad. Like, she was, how dare you go out of your way to criticize this woman?
Yeah.
You know, she was like, she was pissed.
Yeah.
Like, she sent everybody to hell. Like,
I mean, as you should, because again, she is someone who, do you think that she wakes up in the morning like that?
Right.
There's Dolly, but there's lowercase Dolly and there's capital D Dolly, right?
What I think is so insane about this is that she was wearing the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit
at a Cowboys game.
But it was clearly she was not showing her stomach,
right?
Her midriff, which if she wanted to, she could have. But what I'm saying is, in terms of, you know, these people that were outraged, it's like it was clearly
covered. She's covered
with, like, you know,
with her usual Dolly cleavage,
with like crystal studs or whatever, right? Rhinestones. That's the word I was looking for. So clearly she was covered, right? And it's funny because when I first saw the image that I saw, it was a little bit of a further away.
Yeah.
I knew I hadn't seen it up close, so I hadn't seen the rhinestones. I knew that she was covered because Dolly Parton doesn't show
her skin. Aside from her cleavage.
She doesn't show anything else.
That's all we see
of
Dolly.
Like, Dolly Parton is not showing her stomach. But she never does. She doesn't even show her arms.
No.
Right? And there's a lot of different theories on why she doesn't.
They say she's all tatted up.
But did she, I forget, in 9 to 5, did she show her arms? I think she did.
There may have been one scene where she's like in a nightie.
Or like, no, when I mean her arms, I mean like her forearms. I'm not even talking about like
no. But I think one scene she was in a nightie.
But anyway, people are just gonna talk crap of
it's probably in the Best Little Whorehouse.
National icon, national treasure, Dolly Parton.
I mean, forward. So you know what, you people, you all need a soda so you can chill the fuck out.
I wouldn't give them a soda.
You give them a gasless one?
I wouldn't gasless. No, I would give them un smoothie de vinagre. Que soda.
All right, you got a vinegar smoothie.
What? You were mean to Dolly Parton? Oh, here you get a crisp, refreshing soda.
No, you know what? You're right.
You don't need refreshment.
You're right.
Need shame.
You know what?
Shame.
You know what you get? You know what you get? You get the Beverly.
No, even that's cold.
Oh, still?
Yeah. Oh, no.
That's earwax.
Un batido de vinagre.
Okay, you get a vinegar milkshake,
and I will put ice in it and make it really frothy, so it takes you just can't drink it like a shot. You
can't chug it.
You have to like really sit down.
You have to suffer through it.
Yeah.
You know what? Yes. Batido de vinagre para ti.
Yeah, I put a little Worcestershire sauce in there.
Shit, attack national treasure like that for owning up.
Yeah, Dolly Parton. So
Dame favor.
Anyway, that's like right now. Madonna's on tour, and she, she's touring Europe right now. She's going to be here in the United States next year.
Yep.
And so, there's a lot of videos on Instagram and all that. And I love the people are like, oh, because look at her dancing. She can't dance like she did in the 80s. It's like, well, yeah, she's 65.
Right,
like,
yeah, I can't dance like I did in the 80s.
Yeah. 80s, I can't dance like I did in the 2010s. It's like, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect?
Right.
What do you expect?
Right.
Sean from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect? Yeah. Right? Just be happy that, even if you don't like her, okay, she's in her 60s, she's still around, she still dances and moves well.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe not like when she was 25.
Oh, I'm sorry. And can we also remember that she had a hip replacement?
Yes. I mean, and she almost died like 4 months ago.
So she's still doing better than you.
So it's like, ¿qué quiere la gente? ¿Qué quiere la gente? They just have to talk shit. They have to go online and say stuff.
Most of the people who say that shit are white people who don't even have rhythm. So I don't want to hear it.
All I need. Okay, you know what?
The rhythm. Oh, Enrique was on the box a lot too.
That is one exception.
Enrique's better in.
I like Enrique.
In English.
The one exception. We have to talk about it because we have
to close it out. Okay. We have to adhere.
Let's talk about Enrique's Spanish songs.
Okay.
Porque es una ceniza religiosa.
What when you say it like that?
Tocar la boca tuya es un aleluya. Please. Bailamos. That song is great.
Yeah.
Bailamos is great.
You know what? It's funny
Because
because
tonight I'm loving you.
oh, that song's so good.
Oh, and Rhythm Divine is great.
That's the one with the ostrich in the video, right?
With that said, Hero is a terrible song.
It is. The only good thing about Hero is Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, the video. I can be your hero. He does sound constipated. He can't sing.
He's not a good singer, yeah.
No.
I'm being
To say
kind.
he's not a great singer is to
I said
assume,
good. I didn't say great. I said good.
Not a good. Okay, he can't sing, so it's like just do the Selena Gomez of it. Just stay flat, and it's okay. We'll like your songs, right?
Yeah.
You don't need range. You're Enrique Iglesias, like
Yeah, you got other things. Yeah. Although I will say Selena Gomez was never the same after the scene.
yeah.
No.
Esta noche bailamos.
You know what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Quédate conmigo. Okay, but really, that song is great.
That is a great song.
Tonight we dance. Okay, he's the exception to the rule.
He's the exception that proves the rule.
He's the only exception.
On that note,
Everybody, bueno, we hope you listen, laughed, and learned. And as always, remember to grab your croqueta, your pastelito, and your cafecito. Join us next week. Try to look for videos of The Box on YouTube.
And again, Merenbooty Girls, let us know.
Merenbooty Girls.
Yes.
Yes. So
We will do a Merenbooty reunion if you get enough of them.
I will do whatever the Merenbooty Girls want. I will wash your dishes.
No, but they want you to
I'm
relax.
gonna tell them to. No, I'm gonna tell them you relax while I put away the dishes. You gotta know the mega mix.
After this, they will.
You can ring my. Like, I wonder what made them go. Their producer was like, "Let's do 70s like
salsa,
disco songs."
salsa disco.
Right?
It worked.
Anyway, everybody, have a great week. See you next week.
Go ahead and say it. Bye. Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lomlaplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.